From Mississippi's breaking news leader, this is WLBT News. 3 on your side.
We are getting more details for you tonight after an armed suspect was critically injured in a shooting with Natchez police.
Tonight, the police chief is describing what happened. That shootout happened Sunday night on Canal Street near the Natchez Visitor Center. Now, that building has been closed for a while because of renovations. Chief Cal Green says this man, 20-year-old Philip Stokes Jr., that you're about to see, is facing 2 counts of attempted murder. 3 on your side's Chris Fields speaks with the Natchez chief about why police were searching for him.
Learning that one of your officers was shot at is news the Natchez police chief tells me her department never wants to hear. And now the city's top cop is grateful that her officer walked away with no injuries and the suspect behind bars.
My first reaction was, of course, being worried about my officers to see if they were okay, and it was just panic mode for just a moment.
Cal Green, the chief of police in Natchez, is still trying to wrap her head around the fact that someone shot at one of her officers.
Anyone who lacks compassion and you're willing to, shoot your girlfriend, the mother of your child, yeah, you don't need to be on the street. It's that simple. Because if you have no respect for her life, then you have no respect for anybody else's.
The incident happened Sunday night at the old Natchez Visitor Center on Canal Street around 10 p.m. And that's where police were trying to serve a felony warrant to this man, 20-year-old Philip Stokes, who was accused of shooting his girlfriend just last week. Chief Green says Stokes was inside a car while they tried to arrest him. Then things took a turn for the worse.
He stepped out of his vehicle, took a shot at the officers. The officers returned fire. The individual was injured at that time. He was transported by ambulance from the scene to Merit Health for treatment, and my officers were uninjured, thank God.
In the light of violent acts against officers around the metro recently, Green reminds us that officer safety should always be at the forefront when responding to any situation.
And I want people to understand that we do this out of a love for our community and wanting to be sure that everyone is kept safe. And this is a risk that we take every day. And we want people to know that we are willing to do whatever we have to do to make sure our community is a safe one. This is our home. We love Natchez, and we will protect it.
Now, Chief Green also shared with us that the officer involved will be placed on administrative leave until the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is done investigating this case. Reporting here in Natchez, I'm Chris Fields. 3 on your side.